Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So I am about to do my week 39 page of my Concertina accordion journal. If this goes to plan, I'm bringing this forward to probably this week. It'll be the Thursday of the week. I've not long since put up page 38. Hope that will make sense. So I'm starting with, my pre-made cards. This is just two pieces of a 12 by 12 paper that I know I'm not going to use for anything else. Some of the papers, I don't know. I guess there's always packs where you don't like the papers as much. Excuse me, frog in the throat. So I've got some pages here where the ink ran off last week, so I'm going to probably incorporate them. Yeah, just a few bits and pieces. I have pulled some scraps out from one of my scrap tins. I'll be using some of these. It's from a number of weeks ago, I think. I had one thing in mind for today, but I'm going to change it ever so slightly. I came across this little, I'm going to call it a cluster. It's not clusters in the way that you see people making clusters. This is just literally things that I've got stuck together. Came across this little bit of fabric, and it's just pulling away. And I'm going to incorporate this week into my page. I'm doing nothing more to it than what's there. And yeah, I had an idea. It's changed ever so slightly, but it's going to involve fabric this week, and it was going to be stitching, so there'll be a bit of stitching and a bit of fabric used. Right, let me get started. As I said last week, this kind of stage is very straightforward. There's nothing to it, so I'll probably just do a bit of gluing and stick some collage down to start with. So I think I've got enough collage. You would see that I put this piece on and I don't know why, it just felt too kind of dark, too kind of heavy, so you know, I just changed it. Suddenly that just seemed so much better. So this will be my front, this will be the back. Again, got some distressed collage pages and I'll link to that video. And yeah, I think now I'm going to put some ink on it. At this point I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm just going to put some indigo down, although I've got splashes of indigo and orange. Maybe I need something different. I'm going to have a think for a moment. Okay, as before, I'm just going to put some pages down to catch whatever. And I'm looking at the colour of this, and I mean, a lot of the time, whatever I'm using, I don't bother. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm feeling the oranges and the reds today. A lot of blue in here. So I'm going to use a bit of the orange that I used last week, which is a System 3 Daler Rowney cadmium orange hue. It's opaque, so that would be it there. So I will put water on it, and I'm also going to use a bit of this Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay India ink in cherry red. I don't know why that's not focusing. Focus. There we go, cherry red. So a kind of mix of those. Quite hot looking. Get my little paintbrush. Don't want it everywhere. I think I'm going to go in with the red first. I'm just going to start with really a little drop. Screw that on because I have knocked these over before. I've knocked that particular one over, and boy oh boy does it make a mess. So I'll not put a lot on at all. Just letting it play, not even enough to come off and onto the drop papers. You'll see it's beading up on this one. That's because it's a kind of slightly glossy magazine page that I distressed. Kind of going a little bit of pink in here, but it's okay, I can live with that. It's not a Barbie pink or bubblegum pink. I'm going to put in another couple of drops. I like the way that that's kind of a bit thicker there. Obviously a different red, but that's okay. That's more an orange with the red. So this will move a little, but I'm actually just going to try and capture some of it in situ. It'll definitely move off of here because it is, as I said, glossy, but here goes. So it's not fully dry yet, but I'm going to come in and add some of the cadmium orange hue. can see it's much thicker. So I'm going to let some run off and down. That's changed it completely, so I'm going to pick some of that up on the back, but I'm also going to take that over it and lift a lot of it. Just going to add a little bit to the back, not a lot. Add a little bit of red. Oh yes, nice. If you've seen my alcohol inks videos recently, you see I get very messy with them. I get messy with these as well. I have to say, you know, I'm still getting used to the alcohol inks, but I much prefer the acrylic inks. But who knows, that might change in time. Right, I'm going to dry this off now and see where we are after that. Yeah, let that go. Put another bit down, get some colour on it. So it's not fully dry, and in fact it feels quite thin in the middle here, but it should harden up. This is a bit of fabric that I want to use. I don't like the white, but I don't want to lose it. So I could stitch it under here, but in some ways I'd like the stitching to show and it to be able to lift like this. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of colour to this. I don't want too much. I think I'm going to go with a red. Maybe a mixture. And I'm actually going to wet it. I don't want to wet the main bit of fabric, but I just want that to spread a bit. Get some of it off, it doesn't need to be too thick. Get a bit of that red. That's better. I can live with that. Right, so I'm going to let that dry and I'll be back in a minute. Oh, I've still got puddles of ink here. Right, clear this a bit. Right. So my card's still slightly damp. I think this is dry. I've got a piece of embroidery thread here. I think I want it slightly off centre. So in about here, that is still damp actually. I'm going to blast it for a minute. Right, that's better. So I'm going to take it just slightly left of centre. I don't want it sitting in a straight line with that, so probably just going to go up the way a little. I tried to do that, I meant to say that earlier. When I was putting this piece in, I could have put along the bottom there, but sometimes I don't like a straight line of different papers, so I just put that up a little bit, you know, and almost feeling the same here. If I put it there, it'd be a straight line with this. If I put it there, it'd be a straight line with this. So I'm actually just going to put it up a little. And that seems fine. Just got a bit of embroidery thread, just an ordinary needle. And I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to go up and down. So I'm going to try poking a row of holes. I'm a little bit reluctant to go through. I might actually just start it off. I'm just going to put a couple of knots in it. So I'm going to do it from the back. I can see the hole just. Through here. This is going to be tough, but we'll get there. So I've got one through. Now I could just do a running, or I could go up and down. I think I'm just going to do a running stitch to begin with, and I think I'm going to have to get my awl because it's going to be too difficult. I'm just going to do it one hole at a time till I get it going. Through the next one. Sorry, sewing on camera is not easy. I can't even see the blooming hole. It doesn't help that the paper tears a little as well, so that's through this one. Now, of course, you don't actually have to use thread. You could use glue and then just put faux stitches down. That would look just as good and would probably be a lot easier. I didn't want to use the awl really because it makes holes quite big, which is not a problem as such, other than the thread would have gone through the first one. I think I'm just going to go back along here so it kind of completes it. least I can see where the holes are this time. And I'm going to leave it as simple as that. She'll try and tie a knot. Just going to use that other little bit of thread that was there. And hope this works. Yep. It's okay actually. Doesn't look too untidy on that side, but we've got a nice little flap here. So what I want to do now, when I was going through everything, I came across this that I obviously sometimes cut words out of. So I think I'm just going to look for a couple of words that I can hide under here. So I'll just spend a minute or so having a look at this, see if anything jumps out to me. So I found something. I'm hoping it will fit in here. So I'm just going to cut the words out now and yeah, let's see where we go. So these are tiny words. This is where I have to be careful not to breathe too deeply or sneeze or cough. So I'm going to stick these down here, just using my, in fact I think I'll use this time. May as well put it to some use since it cost me so much. I do have those tweezers sort of things somewhere, but I don't know what that beeping noise is in the background. Right, I'll stick the rest down, then I'll let you see it. Okay. From time to time, I looked up joyfully. I'm just going to take this, just this plain biro pen, and just go round the words. It's quite interesting because there's kind of words underneath it, although I can't really make them out now, but hopefully doing this just help it stand out a little bit. That word I proved very difficult. It's so small. The book that I use for words, it's very tiny print, although it's ideal for something this kind of size. Okay, that just helps it stand out just a little bit. So I'm going to put some gold paint on this. I'm going to put this back in here. Touch of gold around the edge, and then I don't think there's much more than that needing done. I've actually done less stitching on this card than I intended. I was going to do way more, but I might save that for a future one. Okay, so just going to bring the gold down in places. I want to put a little bit on there, not a lot, but just almost as if I might even put a little bit across the stitches. Yeah, that's better. Integrates the fabric into the rest of it. Then I will do my usual and put this around the top. Okay, and I'll be back in a moment just to show you. Okay, so I am quite happy at that. I'm going to let it dry. It's wet, you know, round the edges. I like the brightness of it this week. I like that piece of fabric being incorporated, but still bringing the gold down so it incorporates it further into here, and then having the hidden words, hidden found words underneath. So, oops, look at that. So, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back again next week, hopefully, with week 40. Do take care, everybody. Bye for now.